Yeah, this is to the meth addict. It's not something currently in withdrawal willingly. I don't have to be in withdrawal right now if I don't want to be, but I choose to be. Um, Detoxing my second day about now. And more, yes, about my second day. Though I using after 6-8 months of daily using, probably I think it was. I'm not even too sure how long, but it's definitely been 4 or 5, 6 months. I don't know, but it's not something I don't know if I should be doing this video, but it's not really. It's not about me, or I can only tell what I went through a bit, but it's to show that by the grace of God, and by people praying for you, and your desire to for deliverance and claiming the promises of Scripture, um, you know that only by the grace of God can this be done. Um, any meth addict will tell you that the choose will withdraw is kind of retarded, but I had 6 days clean in a few weeks ago, and the withdrawal was gone. And to get to that point, I flushed like a little under a gram of right down the toilet of meth. Um, this time I traded it up for some more gabapentin and weed. Have about half a gram, maybe probably a little more, just to help with the withdrawal. And I'm lucky I have a script for a benzodiazepine, clonazepam. Is that for booze withdrawal is a must. And if it's, I'm lucky at that. I have a script for them. And seroquel, I have bipolar and for sleep. That helps tremendously as well. The Lord will use different avenues, and maybe, I don't know, whatever it takes at this point to get clean, I'm gonna do it. To stay clean. But the withdrawal would be a lot worse if I didn't have benzos, because you just look it up online what it is. It'll tell you that or ask any meth addict, or go to a meth addict's experience. The first 4 days, all you do is sleep, but a lot of the time you'll trip right out, like full on hallucinations, right? It's and extreme paranoia, just some real bad, like you're over amped, or get that way if for me it's like going on day 3, injecting or snorting are my 2 methods. My arms are all banged up now, but that's those 2 methods too. Anyway, they're probably the strongest. I had a friend. I told him, just try lying, and what happens. You'd be surprised, and he says, man, that's just like banging it and shooting it. When you come down off the rush, it can be extremely good for for a high, you could say. But shooting it's just a whole another animal. Especially if you get that rush, you have to do quite a bit compared to coke. Over 2 points, a quarter of a gram. Then you get that dragon's breath, and you just it's the intensity is just so much. Every time you think you're gonna drop. I have OD'd on meth, and if I wasn't with a friend at the time, and I wouldn't be sitting here. Or OD'd on IV coke. I would do my usual dose. I never really did testers, so I would just 2.5 points, I think I did. And he told me he did 0.5, I did 2.5, that's a quarter of a gram of this good stuff. And I dropped 5 times as much as him, but I'm pretty heavy. but when it comes to hitting there, but I'm currently 125 pounds. At 5'10" and a half. um, that's what months and months of daily like methies will do to you. You look at that picture of my profile there, I'm 160 pounds. You think I was a lot bigger, but that's lean body tissue. Um, but 125 pounds at 5'10", the lowest I've ever been in life, was 135 pounds. So this is real bad at um, but I usually look like what I look like in that picture. I'm usually sitting at 140 if it wasn't abuse of meth. In 8 weeks, I get back into shape. But that's not really on the front burner. That's kind of on the back burner until the end of the month. When I can settle up overdue bill with the gym. But no, I didn't think this would be a good idea to do this video, but this is to the meth addict, that you can, as you can tell, I'm hurting. It's heavy breathing. I'd rather be sitting back here or laying in bed right at this point. A lot of heavy breathing, and but by the grace of God, only can this be done. I can even get to this point willingly put myself through withdrawal. You know what I mean? My preference before was always to bang, shoot up coke. I shut up lots more coke than meth. We call it jib around here, jib, G-I-B, in the Maritimes. But they won't have it in the city in Halifax. It's not known to be there like at all in the city. You'd think it would be, but because the bikers, they want to blow, they want coke in the city. They don't want meth. Because of that, I've never had withdrawal from cocaine. I was on like off and on 4-year run, like going 8 months of shooting coke daily. Maybe run out of money at some point. When the scam didn't work, was a real good hustler. Did what I had to do. I was one of them, probably a very good booster. Shoplifting, taking stuff to the dealer or whatever, selling it wherever, half price or a third. I was extremely good at that. I would get lists and lists, I was extremely good. And I was aggressive at the door, these places, very aggressive. If I did what it took to get things out the door, I'd do what I had to do. But the meth addiction is the most horrendous on the mind, in the body. Day 3 starts creeping in. Everyone will say this, almost everyone anyway. You look at their experience, they'll say day 3 is when, okay, no sleep. When hitting day 3 of using crystal meth, like shooting, and you're getting no sleep, probably not eating at all either. 3 days of it, staying up, no sleep, that's when you'll start really tripping balls, man. You're severely tripping out. Like, I've overamped myself many times with, mini ODs, you can call them. My feet would go numb, whatever, or you're completely tripping out, It's, you don't snort meth like you snort coke. It's nowhere near as much, but you get greedy, right? That's the addict. But my main addiction was alcohol, physically. Before this, and benzo withdrawals, for me, it's the worst. But on the mind, the total damage, crystal meth is 6 to 13% success rate. That you can get off at peace over. Rehabilitation is 6 to 13%. It's extremely low. It's the chances of me, without the grace of God, the chances I'd be, I could be in that bracket. Who knows? Like a lot of them will tell you, and it's true. You'll get time in, like I had 6 days in, and for some reason, it's like you're not even. It's like you just subconsciously, there's that craving for that dopamine rush. You have sex, orgasm. We're adults, and this is just the way it is. It's like 150, 200, for dopamine release. Shooting coke, I thought it was more pleasurable in my opinion, but it only lasted 20 minutes. That's like 400. Shooting meth is like 900, it's like more twice the amount of dopamine release. And so what you'll go in that kinetic state, or where, nothing appeals to you at all. It's a severe, extreme depression where it's suicidal. It is very bad. But only by the grace of God can, there's so much I could share. There's just so much. But my time, 10 minutes is up anyway, but this is the way it is, man. It's not fucking good. But by the grace of God, you can get days in when you thought you couldn't get that one day. So there is hope.